All right, so I got some questions on how I put those welds on there, and they're probably not going to show up very well, but you can see them across the back here. And I thought I'd do, there you go, you can see them. Thought I'd do a little video on how I did those. You can see I've kind of got started here. Now I've got what I'm using is styrene, the half round, and I know you can get this stuff smaller sizes. This is just what I had here. I think I bought it to do like chrome strips and stuff like that, and kind of had this idea. And I've seen a few how-tos on YouTube a while back. It's been probably a year or longer on how some people do this, and I kind of had this idea, so I thought I'd give it a try. Now, like I say, you can get this stuff smaller sizes, and I think a smaller one would work better. But like I say, this is just what I got, so that's what I'm using. And I will, once I get this trimmed off. Now, you can see that this is a rat rod that I'm working on now. Some of y'all are familiar with what this came from. I took it to a show last year, and on the way back, I guess I hit a pothole or something too hard, and it bounced around and broke. And I thought, instead of just letting it go to waste, and I really didn't want to put it back together because it wasn't one of my favorite ones to begin with. Thought I'd use it here. Now what I've done is I've cut it down and cut the top of the roof off because it wasn't lagging, so I had to cut some out of the center of it again. And this is just where it went back together, and I was off on my measurements, so I had to put a little piece in there. But I'm going to put a piece of this on there and make it look like it was welded. And it's pretty simple, basically. I'm using this Tamiya extra thin glue. I get it from Hobby Lobby, as you can see, but any hobby shop or anything like that will have it. And you can use any type of plastic that will melt, or any type of glue that will melt the plastic, you can use. But basically, I just want to put me a little daub on there at the bottom. And I'm not worried about being messy with this glue because this is going to get some paint and stuff over top of it anyway. And then I'll stick this stuff down, flat side down, basically. You might have to hold it there for a minute. And then once that's kind of stuck, what you can do is you can take your glue and just go up the side of it. And it will run it under it. As those of you that have used this glue knows that it kind of flows and travels with the whatever you're trying to glue down. Now this is kind of curved, so it's going to take me a minute to get it to hold down there. I'll pause for a second and be back. Alright, now that we've got that done, you kind of see it there. I'll show you the next steps over on the side here, just because I want that to set for a minute. Let that glue set up. First thing is I'll take a file, and I'll just file it a little bit. It's just to knock that roundness down off the top of it. I found that works a little bit better. Makes your weld look like it actually penetrated more, if that makes sense to you. Like I say, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time, as you want it to look a little messy anyway. You don't want it to look all neat, or at least I do anyway. For for the type of rat rods that I build, they look kind of Frankenstein anyway. So I guess it's just whatever your style calls for. You can see, I don't know how well you'll be able to see or not, but it's kind of knocked down, not so round anymore. What I'll do is I'll just take my glue, and I won't be sparing with it. I want to put a lot on it and just cover it really good, because what you're doing is actually trying to melt the plastic. Like I say, I'm not worried about getting glue down on my rust here, because it's going to have some weathering and paint and stuff like that going over top of it. Alright, then we'll just let that set for a few minutes. I'll pause the video and be back to show you the rest. Alright, so now I've already started to make sure that it was working good. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that in the camera, but it goes back to about right in there somewhere. Now once I gave it about 5 minutes to set, and then I'll come back in just a little spot where I want to go. Like I stopped here and I want to start here, then I'll put glue on there as well. And then what I've got is an X-Acto, and you can see there's a tip's broken off of it, just to create a flat edge. And I'm not saying take a brand new blade and break the tip off. Get one of your old ones. We all have them. Just get one of your old ones and slide it in there and break it. Just take a pair of needle nose pliers and just snap it off at the end. Because you're not worried about the sharpness, so you can use an old blade. All you want is that flat end, basically. And what I'm doing is I'm just taking and just pressing it down on it where I want it. Now you don't have to worry about getting it perfect or anything. Like I say, it is a rat rod. You want it to look a little messy and Frankenstein, or at least I do. And actually, you're doing two things here. Actually, when you're pressing on this, you're pressing that that rod right down into the gap. Like if you've actually, like on the hood, like on the cab, because I did chop this top, and right around where I put that weld is where I cut it. So basically, when you're melting this stuff and pushing it down in there, you're pushing it down in the gap where you cut it. So you're making it stronger and creating a weld look as well. Now the top was just kind of, I didn't have to cut it there, but on a 1-to-1 scale, you probably would have. And it's just resemble actually having to cut the top and piece it together. But you actually strengthen that up now by melting that and pushing it down in there. And the same back here, because it is the bed that I've cut down and stuck inside there as well. And it is making it a little bit stronger. Like I said, you don't got to be perfect with doing this, because you're just trying to rough up that surface and give it like a welded look, basically. And you might have to press a little harder sometimes, and not as hard the next time. I mean, whatever you want to get the desired effect that you're after. Now probably what I'll do is, when it comes time to paint this, I'll probably put like a Tamiya chrome silver or some kind of a silver down on top of the welds. And then to weather it, I've got this rust wash that I made. I used burnt umber, craft acrylic, alcohol, and future. And I just brush it over top of it, and it makes it, it makes it look like it's kind of in the process of rusting up. It looks pretty cool, I think. That's probably the way I'm going to do this, but like I say, you can do it however you want. Just wanted to put this out there so you guys could get a look at how I did it. It's much easier to do it in a video than it is to type it and explain it. For me, anyway, it is. But that's it for now, and I will talk to you guys later.